Good day, good day, good love, good light, illuminators and way showers. Thank you. Thank you for being with me once again. Is it a grace and gratitude and honor that we participate with you once again in these expressions of light languages as we share together the infinite applications and infinite expressions of this idea that we call light languages. And so I wanted to thank all of you for waiting today and being with us today as we celebrate this wonderful day of all of these new changes, new expressions, new happenings, new explorations. Everything is new. And really today's focus for the most part really is about everything is here and now. And that in our understanding of multidimensionality, we really do understand that the past is the present is the past, and we are creating both the past and the present right here and now, and that there really is only here and now. So I wanted to thank all of you for being here. I wanted to thank Bree for being here. I wanted to thank Dave for being with me today as we share today a very special day for me in celebration, and I'm very excited for all of the changes that have taken place in my life ever since I began this light language channel. So let's begin, first of all, by letting all of you know that you are welcome to join us today here in the Zoom room. The link is being posted on my website, languagesoflights.com. And if you'd like to join us in the Zoom room, you can. And you can come in on your camera or not. I'll let Bree kind of fill us in just a little bit on how to find us. So she's posting the link. And so I wanted to thank all of you for sharing this joyous occasion with me, as I have many times said that the word journey actually begins and ends with the word joy. And really it is supposed to be a joyous journey for us. And even when we are going through massive life altering changes in our lives, where we can actually find, how do we find stability in knowing that we're really creating everything from here and now, our past and our present, and that when we are present and we have control over the idea that we have the power to create that which we desire. And that's really how this channel was born. It was born the day that I heard the words from Seth, you create your own reality. And there were things that had happened before that. I had been familiar with the law of attraction and reading The Secret, and one thing led to another, and I began my own exploration of my own guides and angels, and began to ask for that. And with that became the invitation to what was born this channel 5 years ago tomorrow. So for all of you who have been with me since that time, or any time in between, or if you're just joining me today, my name is Wendy, and I am here expressing my highest joy, passion, and excitement in sharing with all of you the written, sung, spoken, hand-signed, and all of the other ways that we alchemize what we understand as light languages with the world and with all of you. And how when I very first started this 5 years ago, there was probably 5 people that I could find that even talked about light languages or spoke light languages. So it's with really excitement and joy today that 5 years later, that today all of you are joining me and with this life-changing events for me as well. So thanks for all of you for being out there. I was just going to say hi to everybody and let all of you know, boy. And today is the 15th of January, 2020. And it was on the 16th of January that I began this channel. And today's date actually equals 11. So 11 is my birth path number, my favorite number. And 1111 was really part of what started my whole journey, is understanding what is light work. What is it to be a light worker? And what does that mean? And it allowed me to understand my own connections to my angels, something that I felt all of my life connected to, but it allowed me to pursue that even further. So I wanted to once again let everybody know how to jump in. Bree, if you want to let everybody know, hi Stefan, welcome, and welcome everybody watching. I want to say hi to Beck and Nova. Beck, it's so good to see you again. And Nova, thank you. Thank you, my dear sister, for the beautiful message today. I'm very excited, so please do jump in if you can and join us. And it's really good to see you. Thank you for that message today. That was really meant a lot to me. And thanks for letting me know that you're still out there and you're still with me watching. So, hey, Bree, yeah, if you could let everybody know how to join, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. You can join by clicking on the participation link I just posted in the YouTube live chat. That link actually goes to Wendy's blog. So you could also just go to languagesoflights.com and go to Wendy's blog. Each event that we do, we post information on Wendy's blog. So the links are in there for today, January 15th, 2020. And you have an option of joining with a device with your camera on or off, microphone on or off, or by phone call if you don't have a camera device. So however you want to join, however you want to participate with us today, we are welcoming this as an open space for us connecting and sharing and being able to talk about what is light language, why are people waking up in the middle of the night around the world speaking in tongues, what's going on, why are people dreaming about speaking in tongues, why are people having, past life memories as they start speaking in these light languages? Why are their lives improving when they begin doing this, right? So this is all of what we discuss here on this show. And I'll also take the opportunity right now, speaking of that, to also remind everybody that Wendy does a weekly show on Awake TV Network called Light Language Linguistics and Multidimensionality. And that is on Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And you can watch her live for free, and the videos are available for about 12 to 18 hours for free for your watching pleasure. You can also join. There's a 7-day free trial, which is very cool, and you can be a subscriber of the network and get the incredible content. Over 70 teachers globally are sharing live streaming like Wendy. But we talk about all of this stuff on her show. She's had incredible guests on her show, including some of our beautiful friends here, Dolores, Alicia, and some others. So I just want to mention also in terms of, and you can go to awaketvnetwork.live to watch her shows on Fridays at 3 p.m. And season 1 is ending, I think, right at the beginning of February, if I'm not mistaken. There's maybe 2 or 3 weeks left. I cannot think straight right now, so pardon me. I did not sleep much.
As the Awake TV teachers support system here.
Yeah, technical coordinator.
It's very busy, especially the last couple of days. So
for sure.
Go ahead and mention who's joining the network and
thank you.
What you've been working on this morning. So.
Yeah, sure. So part of the reason I did not sleep much is because we have aired, which is going to be permanently up for free, a interview with Deepak Chopra, Donald Hoffman, who is a cognitive scientist, and the host is Jennifer Hill. She's a teacher on Awake TV Network, and they did an incredible interview together in Los Angeles, which I got to help be a part of on the back end, which is very fun. And the interview was about what is reality? What is consciousness? Does our consciousness create reality, or is it the other way around? And they talk about this in scientific depth, and it's fascinating. And you guys can watch that interview whenever you'd like to on Awake TV Network by simply going to awaketvnetwork.live and searching for Deepak Chopra. That video is also featured on the page all day today. So you can check that out. It's super cool. Yay. And so I just wanted to announce that because the conversation was incredible, and Deepak's commitment to seeing consciousness expand on the planet is really beautiful. And it's amazing to see how he wants to collaborate with other people who are doing that and how open he is to it. And we're so thankful for that. So exciting times. All right. So moving forward, I think that's all I wanted to mention right now. Wendy, was there any other announcements or anything?
So right now, there's a lot of things in the hopper, a lot of the things I'm excited to start new projects. If you've been with me for a little while, you know that if you've been with me for a little while, you've seen that my scenery has changed a few times in the last 5 years. So I've been relocating. I am now here in Florida, in the Fort Lauderdale area. So I have been very, very excited to meet so many of you from all over the world, and equally, even more excited, I should say, to when I get to meet some of you in person. And so one of the things that's been very exciting for me has been able to bring light languages to physically to people around me, and coming to Florida helped me move through. It was one of my dreams from the moment I started this channel 5 years ago, was to bring this out into the world, not be afraid to talk about it. And so really, really quickly, I want to say that this channel, this space, these hangouts, these webinars are designed in part to inspire all of you to go be you, to go teach, be excited, be passionate about what you're doing, and not be afraid. And I will tell you guys, you know, I had thought about it, and I encourage you, if we don't decide to play it today, to go listen to my very first light language video. I was terrified. I was singing, my throat was cracking, but it was something that the moment my guide said to me, this is something that you came to do. You came to teach this. You came to help people understand things and understand their connection to all things and unity consciousness, and that everything is here and now, and that the past is the present, and we can access all of that. And that I was guided to one day in the forest, in the woods, and the farm, walking the farm fields, walking my dog Ranger. I heard the call, if you will, them say to me, this is who we are. This is who you are. We are the emissaries of the Light Collective. You are a part of that collective. We are representative of all realms, all dimensions, all densities. And we, like you, are very excited to help other species, if you will, expand their consciousness. We learn from you, you learn from us, and we know who you are. We represent, and they sort of went to list off all of these places and planets and realms and dimensions. And, but it really was just the idea of that we're all and can all connect to anything at any time we desire, depending on what our path is and what is pertinent to our journey. And so my journey began there, and has expanded in a great many ways. And it was a year at least before I even shared with people in my own immediate family and relationships that I even had a YouTube channel, because it was about, and I wasn't on camera. For a whole year, I was not on camera. All I did was speak light languages and brought in what I was to understand and was to be instructed and guided were light codes from nature, the nature spirits, from the elements and the elementals, that the sky was speaking, that the sun and the clouds and the plants and the trees were speaking to me, and that they're speaking to all of us, and that they had information for us to help us in our ascension process, that they were part of our co-creation. And all of these things started blossoming. And then I started attracting animals to me and birds, and while I was walking and doing light languages. And it kind of scared me a little bit, but it was really freaky and exciting. Then I started hearing information about how have the camera study colors and flowers, and we are going to help explain how all of this connects to everything, how the colors of the foods and the vibrations and the flowers and the smells and essential oils, and how every single thing connects with every other thing, and how each thing helps us all connect with different parts and receive different messages telepathically, telempathically, where we feel them, not necessarily hear them, where we get them audibly, we get them visually. They said to me, this is to help you and everybody else activate those parts of your DNA and those clairs that are a part of all of you, the clairvoyance, the clairaudience, the clairsentience. All of that is part of all of this. And that there's so many parts to my journey that were so many layers and levels. I mean, it was the angels, it was the ET aspects, it was the idea of the human race and ascension and also first contact, and the idea of meeting our brothers and sisters from the stars. Yet it was bigger than all of that. Sorry, excuse my dog, the doorbell rang. That's Ranger. And, he started my journey with me, and he was just a puppy, and he's 8 years old now. So my channel's 5 years old. So he was with me. He was part of my ascension process, because animals and having animals around us help us connect with all of that. And we all know we can speak to our animal companions. So even as a child, I knew I could connect, I could talk to the stars and the people of the stars and the animals in the sky and the sun and I always knew that, and the flowers. So when I started receiving all of these messages about how it's all connected, I started to get a deeper understanding of the colors, and colors are frequency, and sound is frequency, and it's vibration. And our chakra systems are related to these colors, and how all of this activates so many different parts of us. And I've always loved photography, always had a camera in my hand for as long as I could remember. So they started explaining things to me about how even as we expand our technology, because everything's a permission slip, everything we're creating, everything's energy, even our cameras and so forth. So they started to show me how we, as our technology advances, that we're able to literally experience and see more colors than we ever could, experience the vibration of those colors in ways we couldn't before, to be able to literally hear messages through these things. Messages, they could literally be audible, or they could just be like, oh, you have an epiphany about something that's been bothering you, or a question that you've put out to your guides or your angels or God or whatever, and receiving that information back in a way that you wouldn't expect. Looking maybe, say, down at a stone or a seashell or a tree. I would find myself literally just weeping because I didn't understand what was happening to me. Like I was ultra aware of everything that was going on around me, and speaking to things like birds and hummingbirds and, and having these conversations with dragonflies. And so it became this whole magical world for me, that all of a sudden everything began to expand. And then I started receiving information like, hello, we are the Avian Collective, or we are this collective, or we are the Tree Collective, or we are this. And so they just started introducing themselves. But I began with the idea that where the first collective that came to me, they said to me, we are Ileana of the Elohim. We are the mirror of source. You are a mirror of source, and you are here to teach others that they all are mirrors of source. You all are a dream, God's dreaming. You are a source. You are a part of source that wants to experience itself through your eyes. And to tell everybody, to teach everybody to teach myself, how do we do that? How do I close my eyes and breathe and connect to something in another star system or another aspect of myself, just by breathing and closing my eyes? How do I do that? I wanted to know, how do I do that? And how do I talk to my angels? How do I meditate? What is meditation? What does it even mean? What is self-healing? If you're new to my channel and my Languages of Light's website, I explain a little bit about that journey and how physical healing took me into looking for other modalities of healing that had nothing to do with medication. I had enough of that. And so my body was looking for something. My body was just looking to reset, to go back to what it belonged, how it's supposed to run. It didn't know how to operate anymore. It just didn't know how to function at all anymore. It was so messed up. And so all of these things led from one thing to another. And I began to explore, how do I connect with my angels? And so I would start, even when I was working, I would get up early in the morning, light my candle, and ask to talk to my angels and whoever else was out there. And then I just began practicing that idea of asking, how do I do this? And then I started finding information, and then I found the Seth and understanding, how do I create my own reality? And then when I started, and I had already read The Secret and the Law of Attraction, then I started, I think by looking for specific things, it was, you know how you get in YouTube where you have recommended stuff. And so all of a sudden I started to see other channelers. Well, there weren't that many out there. And a couple of Bashar videos, if you're not familiar with Bashar, he was channeled by Daryl Anka, bashar.org. He's been channeling, Daryl's been channeling Bashar from the Sasani now for about 35 years, I think it is now. And that energy was one of the first energies that I ever came into contact with. And I knew right away that they were my family somehow, that I was guided to them somehow. And every word resonated with me that this was a part of me and who I am. And so that led to finding other channelers, and throughout that, I was being guided. I was being exposed to a little bit of light languages, but it was more than that. It was about, I started to receive information too about, I started speaking light languages in August of 2014. And it was within just it was January then when I was guided to start my first video, to make my first video. I had no idea what I was doing, had never made a video before, had never been on YouTube, never really hung out in these kind of hangouts, really, a little bit, but not much. But that's where I learned. I was around other people in Google Hangouts. It was Google Hangouts at the time. These were people all over the world that I was starting to discover were speaking light languages. We were starting to find each other. And so by me looking and finding these channelers, that's how I found these groups of people that were interested and that were speaking light languages. These people were from all over the world. So it was as if I had already been exposed to a few light languages before I found these people. So it was very interesting that, well, obviously it was something I needed to be activated, because it was something that I knew as soon as I heard it, as soon as I began to understand it, I knew it was something I was supposed to teach or share. Teaching really wasn't part of it. It was about sharing, the passion to share it. I just needed to share it. Well, then I started hand signing. I started singing. Well, singing kind of came first with the speaking, but I started writing symbols. But a lot of this was already activated by the symbols I was already receiving, or looking at, that was the very beginning of my journey, was writing these symbols that were brought to us from Sirius through Daryl, through channeling Bashar. And that's when I started my journal, which is kind of my Bashar journal, my ascension journal. But that's one of the very first things I drew in here. I wrote in here, I was just looking at a couple notes, sorry. I started writing the symbols, which I started writing them on several pages, but you guys can find these on the internet. They're the Syrian sacred, the sacred circuitry. And I've got lots of videos about it. I've got playlists on it. I've done extensive hangouts and videos about these symbols. These were activating for me. And so that's how my journey began. And I took all this stuff very passionately and literally, because I wanted to know more. And really, it's about the intention. Again, at the end of the day, it's always going to be about how much does it mean to you to explore this and ask. And you're given everything I can't even tell you the stuff that's happened to me in the last couple of weeks, let alone the last couple of years. So this has been, I can't even begin to explain unless you guys have been watching or been with me for a little while, or those of you who are starting to speak light languages or are interested in it. It became my life's passion to share it, understand it. How do we use it? How do we apply it every day? What does it mean? Where does it come from? Are there translations? I mean, I got all of these questions. I had the same questions as everybody else. And this is how my channel was born. And my website was born, where people were asking, how do I do this? Or what does it mean? And then I started getting really excited about other avenues of alchemizing light languages and self-healing, and how do we apply this and employ this with our children? How do we, all of these things started just coming to me, and ideas about more and more ideas about videos. But the point I wanted to make at the beginning of all this is that nobody knew, and nobody I knew in my immediate life, but it didn't stop me. So when we're talking about being ourselves and being authentic, I still felt as if I was being authentic within my own belief systems. So I was still doing the work, making the videos, even though nobody in my immediate life knew what was going on. It was something I needed to do regardless. And then as I began to speak the light languages, I began my own healing processes about being myself. It started breaking down my own barriers and my own belief systems until I could finally start being myself more and more and more, and not caring. It wasn't about not caring about what others thought. It was about, I could no longer, it was too painful to be inauthentic, whereas it used to be, it was too painful to be truthful. And so we, as we begin to speak them and use them and appreciate them and apply them more, it begins our own healing process. And just by sharing them with others, we heal ourselves. And when I say heal, raising our vibration to no longer contain the thoughts, the disempowering thoughts that lead to the beliefs that create the realities we do not prefer. That was the main gist of it for me, was how do I create my own reality, and how do I make things, how do I believe that I can do that? And as I began to share the light languages more, the more I began to believe these things in my own life and apply them, and it changed my life daily. And the more I met all of you, and the more I met so many people all over the world, I started to realize it didn't matter what light languages we spoke or what physical earth languages we spoke. We were family, we were connected. And this was part of my journey, was to be brought together with all of you as well. So in celebration, I guess, of this idea, part of this whole story is about, for all of you and for me, and from here forward, because everything is here and now, because right now I'm creating that past and creating that future just by even talking about it, because that's how this works. It's combining what we understand about physics and what we don't understand about physics, and understanding that when the laws change, everything else that's relative to that changes. And one of the things that I discovered were the laws of creation, which were presented to us through Bashar and the Sirius star system, which I need to bring up and talk about, because the Sirius and the Sirians are part of our guides, and they are so related to so many of the passions that I have, that Bree has, that we've talked about, and Egypt, and so many other, and the pyramids, sacred geometry. How even last week with Beck, we talked a lot about sacred geometry. That was a huge part of my awareness and my ascension process, was dreaming in sacred geometry, dreaming in light languages, dreaming about symbols, dreaming about creating symbols for other applications in other realms, in other dimensions, on other planets, and then beginning to understand our connections to the hybrid children and how all of this is related, but it's not related. It's all connected, but yet it's not part of our ascension process, but yet it's part of our awareness. And so for all of this for me was such an emotional journey that some of it I couldn't even share with people, because especially people in my family and my friends, that they just didn't understand. And I couldn't explain it. How do you explain that you're getting, messages from a bird and you're like crying your eyes out because of what you're getting? But how do you explain this to people? They'll think you're crazy. So all of us all think we're crazy, only then we find each other and go, oh my God, we're all the same kind of crazy. Thank God. Thank God I found other crazy people just like me. And so this was what was so wonderful about these gatherings. Ivan, dude. So this is a perfect example of, putting yourself out there. I met Ivan, as you guys know, I think from a couple of videos ago, our hangouts ago, met him here in Fort Lauderdale at our first light language event that Bree and I did, and where I met Dave for the first time in person. And so, which obviously changed my life. So here I am. And in just, okay, so that was in August and this is January. So just in a few short months, look at how our lives have changed. I have changed my entire life, relocated, have a new relationship, have met Ivan and Zinnia again since the hangout, have had Zinnia on my Awake TV show. And now both of them have just started their own YouTube channels. Oh my God. Hey. That's what this is all about. My passion for sharing is about that. It's about you guys going out there and being authentic. And, and I loved how you even described it too, Ivan, about how it's just like, yeah, it's time. And yeah. And you put it, it's not about putting it off. It's just about when are we ready? And like I said, it was a year before I put myself on camera, but I knew it was time. It was time to cross that bridge, jump over that hurdle and say, okay, I'm going on camera, and then telling people in my family about what was going on. Well, I didn't tell everybody. I only told one person, but it was the catalyst to where we are today, and to these hangouts and meeting Bree and starting all of this and doing all of this on a regular basis with all of you. And and again, here, Ivan, there's nothing greater than being able to meet each other in person. Yet, look how close we all are, even though here we are right here, we've got people from Croatia and the United States and England and Italy, I think Stefan's from, and how people all over the world are here together. And astoundingly, all of you speak amazing English. and so it surprised me right away how the same we all are. We're all the same, we all want the same things, and we want to share the same things. And when I started, I was looking at one of the first pages in my book, and it said, it was referring to the sacred circuits and studying them. And Bashar had said, when the people lead, the leaders will follow. Teach them. And that was one of the first words I ever heard were teach them. And so from that moment on, it has been my desire to teach what I've learned, because it's helped me so much. And then because of all of you reaching out to me, looking for guidance and looking for sessions and looking for explanations and looking for activations and looking for consultations, that's how my website was born a year ago. And so, having met Bree a couple of years ago, we together started a new way of sharing and the ability to do one-on-one, meeting people on a one-on-one, which is just an amazing, beautiful experience. And I'd like to think that it was a good experience.
Yes, it was.
So, and it's funny because on a personal level, now that I know Dave and now that we're together, and I looked for the first time at the notes that I had written for him during that first session, which is a year before we had actually met in person, it was uncanny to me. It was pretty emotional when I read all the notes and realized how pretty spot on they all were. And now that we know each other, it was pretty incredible that I received all of this, and still do receive all this information about people I don't even know. I don't even know them. All I do is, I got like tap into their energy and they say, would you like us? I'd like to have a session. And right then it's like, I hear things and I see things and I get information and names and stuff I can't explain, and it doesn't matter. I just write it down. So you guys have been so inspiring for me every day. And even Cynthia, love you, sister. Thank you so much for your message today, because even today, even on an anniversary like this in 5 years, every day I ask myself, is this something should I keep doing this? Is it? And then I receive feedback from you guys, and then I realize why it is that why I'm still so passionate about doing this. And then meeting all of you, and Dolores and Beck and Ivan and Stefan, and oh my God, Sean has been from the very beginning. So Sean was one of the very first people I ever met that spoke light languages. Well, in my journey, he was one of the first people that I began speaking light languages with. And so it's interesting how it feels like yesterday, but of course because everything's now. So, when I was listening to Bashar very early on in the early years, there were 4 laws of existence. You exist. Everything is here and now. What you put out is what you get back, and everything changes except for the first 3 laws. Well, then there was a video, an event, which if anybody's got the details, I don't remember which one it is, or have the link. Because it was a long time ago, but he said, anyone who's watching this video, you all get to vote on whether or not you feel that there should be 5 laws of existence. And we energetically are asking you to vote. And it was, I can't remember when it happened, if it was during the same event or another event, that he then said, yes, it has been voted, that all of you have agreed that we will not only add a 5th law, but insert it, and insert it as number 2, and all the others will slide down. And the number 2 law was, everything is here and now. Because it was very important for us to begin to finally understand that very simple but very complex concept, that everything is here and now, because it changes the way we process information. It changes the way we perceive what is past and present and future. Because if we understand that what happens right now and the vibration that happens now creates the reality, the version of the billions of realities that we're perusing through moment by moment, whatever version, vibration you're in now is the one you land in, is the one you're aware of in that moment. And all of us have done this a billion times just in 2 seconds, but we cannot perceive that. But this is why that had to be inserted, because it's the seed that needed to be planted. And when that seed was planted, it got planted in me too, that this was something I was supposed to help teach people. Was that because it's empowering. It's extremely empowering, because it dissolves judgment. It dissolves the idea that we need to. Healing is simply understanding that we're having an experience, and what we're feeling about that experience right now is what's creating our current reality, which creates our future, which really creates the vibration of how we feel about the past. So that insertion of everything is here and now stood out for me. And it was one of the things, along with many others that I have yet to teach, which are all stored in here for things to do as far as futures. This, when I say future, but things that I am excited to do and in new ways, and exploring new ways of bringing this information that's been sitting in here waiting for me to come out and share with all of you in new ways. And light languages have had, I want to say, I don't want to say everything to do with this whole process for me, but I would have to say that they were probably one of the most crucial parts of my whole ascension process. So I think I need a drink of water. So yeah, so I haven't even spoken any light languages yet, but I wanted to see just if anybody had any comments or questions at this point. I just wanted, because it's kind of what we call a milestone, because we as humans have to, use time stamps for things. And so we use decades and things like that as celebration markers. So I wanted to thank all of you for being here today and celebrating this, what we call a linear milestone. And to thank Bree for being here. She could be sleeping, but she's not. She's still here. So I gotta say thanks to Bree for doing that, and to bringing light languages to another network, another way, to Awake TV. And it was actually my participation in bringing light languages to Awake TV, and my introduction of Bree to Amanda, the co-founder, because as soon as I heard Amanda tell me the story, I said, there's somebody I think you need to meet. And so I introduced Bree to her, and here we are. So I wanted to thank her for being here today, because she's been very busy with it as well. So, and has also been an integral part of my journey, because we've known each other, what now, 3?
Oh, ditto.
4, are we going on 4 years?
Let's see. I met you at the beginning of 2016.
Yeah. So beginning of 2020, we're on 4 years now.
I have a really hard time logically having that click into my brain, because it's been really interesting these past 4 years, because I met Wendy at the beginning of my spiritual awakening, right at the beginning. I'm talking like within a few weeks of me being like, oh wait, there's more going on than meets the eye. And then, oh wait, this thing that I thought was some higher power is all that is. Okay, well that makes a little more sense. No wonder I could never assign myself a religion label stamp. Yeah.
I was just talking to AJ about that, about not assigning myself a religion, not having ideas about that. And that's very interesting here, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, you and I met, and it was January, I'm pretty sure. And
yeah, it was.
And now, so here's another milestone for us, you guys, 4 years. This is our 4-year anniversary, because it was right around, I think it was about this time of year.
For sure. Yeah. And Sean just said in the chat, also, there's been lots of energy in the first 2 weeks of the year. I'd say. I don't know about you guys, but the
year of clearer vision. No kidding. No.
Yeah. Yeah. You got some stuff to hide. I would, start to address maybe what's going on, right? Because otherwise, sometimes the universe addresses it for us.
Well, there you go, guys. See, here it is, another milestone here. And so isn't it interesting that I was, only a year into my journey then when I met Bree, and she was just beginning hers. And so, the things that we've gone through together have been pretty monumental. And really, I can't even really begin to describe it. And Sean too, thank you for all of your love and all of your support. You have always been just amazingly just wonderful. And so Thank you for that. And yeah, go ahead. Anybody who wants to, you know, if you want to raise your hand or say something. Or
Yeah, I would like to actually hear from Beck, because she just said in the chat, she said, I too couldn't connect to any religion, history, or geography either. Beck, would you want to share? I know you shared such beautiful things last week, and for anybody who wants to tune into that, go on Wendy's YouTube channel and the videos and check out last week's episode. Right at the beginning, you know, Beck started sharing stuff about her journey and when she started speaking light languages and how this has kind of evolved and opened up for her. But do you want to share any other details in relation to this while we're on the topic of awakening and our journeys? And that goes for anyone else in the room after you. Beck?
Yeah, sure. I've got a question as well after that. So for me, I could never connect to any religion. In fact, I'd kind of hide from it. It was like there was just no ill feeling towards it, just nothing, like a blank page. I've always been like that with the royal family as well. Geography, history, the specific dates, what have stood out to me, and specific events in my life that have stood out to me. And it's like they've not happened when they've stood out to me either, which has been quite strange. And I never realised it at the time. It's been more so probably in this past year. I've realised that them events never happened at the time that they did for me. They happened afterwards. So that was quite different, and I'm still trying to work out what happened because it's not always clear. But with geography, which is really interesting, I cannot physically read a map. And I found this with a few people since I've mentioned it. The map looks like it's the wrong way to me. So if I've got a map in front of me, like I'd want to go say you've got a shop on the right hand side. The map looks like it's the opposite way around and going the other way to me. So I just get really confused by it. Never been able to follow maps. It's always been like some kind of internal radar what guides me everywhere. But as well, I notice, especially I've been showing it quite a lot lately, like books falling off in front of me, that I can read backwards as well, like really quickly with ease. So like if there's something reflected in a window and it's backwards, I've absolutely no problem reading things backwards or upside down and backwards either. So I don't know how my brain works exactly, but I don't think it's... I think this is why I've always struggled when I was at school to actually learn in the ways. So like with maths at school, I'd always get the answers right, but never the working out, because I could never do the working out. So it was really strange. And with geography, I could never remember where certain places were. I still can't. It's as if they're not meant to be there. But to me, I kind of see the world as one, not like split into different countries. It's like time. So like how I feel time, which I just can't physically feel time in that now. I'm like that with countries, and I'm like that with history. So, you know, like yesterday, I know a past life was happening at that moment because I just went straight into it. And I can do that. I can go to a place and all of a sudden I'll start seeing things as if it's like 60 years ago or something. I'm like, whoa. So it can be a bit strange at times. I'm learning to not sort of cling on to things, because sometimes I've looped into that and then manifested it back into my reality, like Wendy was saying before. So it's kind of like a learning experience for me, because I've created on that. And then I've realised, and I've actually done that this morning, and then I was like, wait, right, I realised my mistake, please don't give me back. Because when creating from that place, even though you're expressing yourself, you're also putting that out and it's going to come back in. So I'm only just kind of like realizing that it's okay if it's coming from an unpolarized place, but if there is any duality in it from the polarization, it's going to come back in again and loop you. That's just what it seems to be, what seems to be happening anyway. But it can be pretty confusing because in the different frequencies, you see things in different ways and you feel things in different ways. And you can have like, 1 minute you can have a really asleep sort of view on something. The next minute you can be seeing everything in energy, which doesn't really happen very often, but it has happened. And it can be quite confusing. So that sort of led me on to my question, because is the times where you sort of really don't know what you're meant to be doing? Like, because I've been really questioning why I'm here over the past few months. I know there's a reason I've got all these different sort of gifts, but for some reason, for me, it might not seem that from the outside, but it just feels like I've not got them all connected together. They just feel like they're here, 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 here. And I've got them all there, but I don't feel like I know much about them.
I sit and listen to you because our experiences are so very similar. I mean, I even like last week and everything you're saying today, the reason why you think the way that you do and see things the way that you do, even reading things backwards. I used to read things backwards all the time. Well, then I was taught later on when I worked for a printing company, when you proofread, you're supposed to read it backwards because that's how you see mistakes. Because your brain, you can read something over and over again. As Bree and I found out with the word languages, you can look at it over 10 times and still not tell it's misspelled because your brain fixes things for you. So it's very interesting that you said that. And all mathematics, same things you said about math, geography, everything that you said I've experienced. Well, it's because you already innately understand there is no yesterday, there is no past, there is no geography, none of it actually exists. We're creating it and we're collectively agreeing. And Bree and I have actually this brought me back to something that you and I experienced a long time ago, Bree, that we have really never talked about, but who was that?
Susie Byler.
Susie Byler, and she said,
I was on the same note as you. I knew you were going to say that. So Susie Byler puts out this video with somebody, and she says, guys, there was a timeline shift last night. We're in a different reality. Now there are less countries, right? It shifted to like a substantial amount of countries overnight disappeared.
Countries disappeared. And
yeah, like the map, the global map was changed overnight compared to.
And she's like, and you're not going to know it because your whole reality shifted with it. We were all kind of like, okay.
Like, so okay, what? But
we talked about this to this day. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Because Susie said, go look at other maps. But because sometimes then we talked about the Mandela effect, because then do all the maps change with it?
What's interesting is what I found, and this goes for logos, this goes for, I mean, there's so many examples we can talk about the Mandela effect, but what I found is the reality that you're in, if you experience that past reality that then gets shifted in your experience, and the timeline merges together and it shifts, all of that stuff changes, including like maps and everything. But then people will sit there and say, no, that's not right. And they will remake what they remember. And that's what people have done with like the Looney Tunes logo. So I recall the characters popping out of the O's or whatever in tunes with TUNES, and now it's Tunes, TUNES, musical tunes.
Yes.
And so people have recreated that, saying, why has it changed? And then they call up the companies and they're like, why did you change their logo? And the company's like, what? This has always been our logo. I don't know what you're talking about. It's fascinating. Like, Mandela effect is one of the most fascinating things to me. And again, how cool that it is literally providing us an opportunity as the human collective consciousness to realize that reality is malleable, that our experience is basically a lucid dream that we're awakening to, and that is proof. That's proof. What bigger proof would you have than something you've known your entire life changing overnight, and then you looking at it and being like, no, that was not what it, like the whole movies of just the Shazam movie, wasn't it? Never existed anymore, with that genie guy. There's so many cool examples. So I'm sorry, I go crazy with the Mandela effect because it's so cool.
I'm excited about it because when you bring this stuff up, it invokes this in us, this excitement, because one of the very first things when Bashar was talking about when I very first started becoming aware of the idea of parallel realities and shifting through them, creating billions of parallel realities moment by moment. Just try for a second to just think about that. Moment by moment, we're creating an infinite number of parallel versions of this moment over and over. And time is a byproduct of our consciousness moving through that slideshow. So you can slow it down, speed it up, you can change it, you can pick which realities you remember, which brands of things you remember, all of it. We have a collective agreement, but so it gets very complex. So, but yet we cannot, because we can't wrap our three-dimensional understanding around it, our brain tends to kick things out that it doesn't understand.
Yeah, it shuts down.
It tries to put linear things together.
Yep.
We try to understand, like, why do I do the things that I do? Why didn't I excel at this? We talk about this every day about, okay, I'm getting all this information, but what do I do with it? What does it mean? How does it serve me? What does it mean that I did this and that, and I'm this in this life and this in another life, and he and I are this in this life? And well, that's awesome, but what does it mean? How does it help me right now? Well, it helps me now because it's confirming I'm a multidimensional being, that I have and are living these simultaneous realities right now. And because of light languages and this idea of expanding our awareness, we're able to tap in and understand that we're able to visit and these multidimensional parallel realities. The other side of this, you guys, that we have to remember is we're not just the channelers, we're the channelees. When we are raising our vibrations, there's other beings in other civilizations. Well, they're channeling us too, remember? It's not just a one-way street. So if you're hearing it, it means somebody's talking on the other end too. So we have to, well, first of all, I wanted to say hi to everybody who just came in. Hey, Parky. Hey, everybody. Oh my God. Hey, Ivy. Love you guys. And I wanted to say hi to everybody out there too. Who else is joining the chat? I wanted to say hi to Tabu Taco. You guys I love it. You guys are in the chat together too. Thanks everyone for being out there and watching. You guys are so great. And thanks, Cynthia. You guys are awesome. Every time you encourage me, you guys, I'm more inspired and encouraged to encourage all of you. So isn't it funny how we get to that really awesome mirror and we get excited about this stuff, because it's the not understanding it and knowing ourselves more deeply, and the excitement of all of this and sharing these, how just by you, Beck, sharing this stuff triggers other people to expand. And even the drawing that you did, and just even that you did, the drawing that you did last week and that we shared, all of it's activating, because now you're getting confirmations that you're not crazy either. So it is pretty exciting, all the way around for all of us just to share this. And once again, have people join us from all parts of the world. So yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And we haven't even really spoken any light languages, but it doesn't matter because it's not just about speaking them. It's about all of this. It's about the whole idea of how is this changing our lives? How does it make us more excited and passionate? And the more passionate we are, you guys, the state of being itself of passion and excitement is the state of being that we need to be in order to create the reality we desire. Because anything less than being in the state of what your highest excitement is, even if it's just sitting and drinking a glass of water, it's understanding that no matter what that is in that moment, this moment is the only thing that matters, because this only is, everything is here and now, meaning that what you create right now has just created the past, just created the past, just created the past. But this now moment, and the moment that hasn't happened just yet is we call the future, but it's all right now. No matter when you're thinking of the past or the future, it's all right now. So once we really ingrain ourselves into this idea of you exist and you will always exist, no matter what, dying just like it's just a part of life. So when we find these channelers talking about, and we receive this information and guidance from our ancestors and our guides, we realize that it's just energy. Even our grandmas, grandpas, all these people that have passed, what we call our ancestors, we are the ancestors of Sasani. We are the parents and we are the ancestors of these higher dimensional races, you guys. We are their teachers. We are their guides. We are their parents. So when we can wrap our minds around the fact that we're listening to an entity, a race of beings, because when we listen to Bashar is just a name that was assigned to this energy, but we're talking to the entire race of peoples here, because they're a telepathic, quasi-physical race of beings that are our future. They are our future beings. We taught them. So when we're listening to this information and it resonates with us, well, of course it does, because we taught them. It took me a long time to understand this idea, you guys, that the people that we're listening to, that we are, looking at as our guides, well, we are the ones who taught them. This is the thing that we need to understand, is when we're channeling or receiving or sending information, we are receivers, conceivers, and perceivers. That's it. That's it. Your brain is not designed to do the what, the who, the when, the how. It's not designed for that. It just isn't. Your higher mind is designed for that. Your mind and your imagination is to create the vision of what you want, and don't put anything in the way of your higher self bringing it to you. It's that simple. Not always easy for us humans to do, but it's that simple. So these are the principles that I was immediately guided to teach, because of course we taught it to them. And once I started to understand, the Elohim, the angelics, the archangels, all of these are all teachings of, but it's all the same. It's all the same idea. Unity consciousness, everything's connected. Everything we do is connected to everything. We can access anything at any time, and each and every one of you and every one of us has the same exact abilities. It just depends on what we want for our journey. What do we want to experience? So each and every one of you, if you want to speak light languages, of course you can. If you want to hear what they mean, you're going to hear what it means to you, and you're going to share that. You're going to be passionate about sharing it, or you're not gonna, or it's just going to be your own personal journey. I've seen a lot of people now on YouTube who spent and even me, you guys, I was putting out a video a day for probably at least more than 4 years, almost every single day. Some are 2 minutes, some are 5 minutes, some are half an hour, some are an hour. It just depended on what was happening and what was being channeled. But the thing is that many people, and including myself, even finding myself now having changes in my life, that even that evolves and changes. And a lot of people then begin to use their light languages in different ways. They use it for their own personal growth. They use it to alchemize and teach other people. That I see now in Zinnia, she's putting it, she's alchemizing light languages with every single thing she does in her life. And that's what I do too now. I alchemize it with everything, with crystals and oracle cards. And the reason why we don't go into any of that on Wednesdays is because light languages is a subject big enough of itself that, and so I want to encourage all of you that there's lots of videos that I do all kinds of other things, but Wednesdays are devoted to light languages because it's its own big subject. And so I wanted to focus on that and not bring into this other stuff about cards and crystals and essential oils and aromatherapy and Reiki and galactic Reiki, because it's so big and there's just so many things but this is why we encourage each other to share, because it encourages all of you to do this work together. So I love you guys so much. So
Wendy, we have a really cool question. And we love you. We love you too. We love you too. So, hey, Dolores said this in the group chat. Dolores, you are here, you beautiful lady. Would you like to propose your question? We can have a discussion, because this fits into exactly what the Deepak Chopra interview is about. So it's fascinating timing that this releases today on Awake TV Network. And you are now asking the question. So do you want to speak, my dear? You give me a shrug. Oh, I'll read it then. That's okay. She asks in the chat, she says, if I can find the question. Oh boy, I have a question. Why do you believe that anything can be proved? And why do you think that anything has any meaning? So Wendy, why can things be proved in your perception? Why can things be proved? And why do things have any meaning whatsoever?
Well, as Bashar would say, we assign the meaning to everything. Nothing has any meaning at all. Think about it, you guys. Okay, so as he explains it, if I say to you, well, how can you assign a meaning to that? Because you don't know what the heck I said. You have nothing, no reference. So you would say, well, that has no meaning to me. Now, if I said to you, that means I love you from another planet. Oh my God, now we've assigned meaning to. Do you see that there is no meaning until you assign it? There's not one single meaning to anything until each and every one of us assigns a meaning. And that meaning is assigned by the definition, which is assigned by the belief system, which is assigned by what you think about that thing. So if you have no thought about a thing, you can't have no thought, you can't have no meaning behind it. No, it's not possible. You can't even have an emotion about something if you don't assign a meaning to it, and you can't assign meaning without assigning a definition. And you can't have a definition unless you believe about something.
And then there's
sorry.
No, go on.
As I wrote in chat, that meaning is something mind thinks it is, and mind makes the conclusions upon information that exists in it.
Yes.
I would also add to that, though, because this is where I get a little bit confused. Collective consciousness. We are a part of the human collective consciousness, and in addition, it's a reflection of us, right? Individually, in our own individual experiences and realities. So that can affect our reality in subconscious ways. Would you agree? And this is where
I would.
Yeah, this is where, and it's like subconscious energetic stuff, but it's like, because we're all kind of swimming in the same ocean, so to speak, on the same planet, playing the same game. And in terms of awakening, we're becoming more conscious of the unconscious and subconscious things, and we're becoming intentional and conscious in our creations and manifestations of reality. So then we start to have a choice in these things that we were not aware were affecting us, such as XYZ. I mean, there's, you know.
I like what you just said, because what you just said is the thing that we need to understand. We have a choice. We have been led to believe that our life happens to us. We're just following a predisposed thing, and it doesn't work that way. Once we understand we have a choice, you get a choice about how you want to think about something. You get a choice about what meaning you assign to things. It changes everything about everything then.
To the some point of view, as I believe, or I experienced till now in my life, that truth, absolute truth, that many say that doesn't exist, but absolute truth is something that doesn't changes any time, and that everything that exists in me. Nothing exists outside of me.
Nope, nothing.
So all that story about consciousness, about subconsciousness, about energy, about believings, about meanings, about everything we so much like to speak, to think, to imagine, to whatever, is in me or is in you, because you and me are one. It only looks like we are not, but we all are one. It's a magnificent expression of universal mind. But universal mind is only a mind. It's an illusion. That what or who we really are is something that is not describable, that is not something that we can reach with our mind, that is not something that has past, present or future, that is not something that is changeable, but is omnipresent and gives life to everything that we believe exists. Silent.
Well, sorry, I got distracted for a moment. Everything that you just said is exactly what, I don't want to say that we're striving to understand, but that we're striving to understand. As a human collective consciousness, it's a consciousness. We're a collective consciousness within an entire consciousness. So if we can understand, and I've used my snow globe as kind of an analogy a lot of times, where if we understand that everything that has ever been created, every single everything, which is hard for us to even imagine. But if you imagine everything is inside that snow globe and you're inside the middle of that snow globe, where is anything going to go? There's nowhere for anything to go. We say we want to let things go. Well, where is it going to go?
No.
As you said,
cannot let it go.
Everything exists, yes. And it's all part of us. It's part of all of us. We have access to all that, but it's what does this little piece of your consciousness want to focus on right now? And what meaning does it want to assign on what it's focusing on?
What do you mean, that little piece of your consciousness?
Well,
what does it mean, that little piece of your consciousness?
Well, you're right, because it's 100%, you are correct. It's 100% of our consciousness pretending it's only using a little piece of itself.
I shall say.
In the third dimension.
I don't agree.
I'm talking about strictly in the third dimension. We're playing this game where we're separated from everything, and that we're playing this game that we only use a percentage of our brain or our consciousness, but we're using 100% of our consciousness to create this experience that we're only using a percentage of our consciousness in our brain. That's how powerful we are.
Who is that one? Who is that we who plays that game? Who is that we?
Well, and I say we, I was referring to the human collective.
Okay, what is that?
Just the human collective. And I know this gets very now we could pick this apart all day.
Oh, it is so it's awesome.
We need to pick it apart. That's why we're here. That's why we're having these conversations. Let's pick it apart, right? I mean, what else have we got to do?
So
Okay.
yeah, who else wants to contribute to picking apart the the awareness of the multiverse?
I can share my experience because I believe that is the most relevant what I can say. When I have that experience of totally be aware of who I really am, not as Dolores, not as human, not as this form through which I expressed me in so many ways. I somehow, I cannot say knew, but am aware that Wendy, Bree, Stefan, and everyone others is me. I cannot say it's part of me. It's not part of me. It's me. Everyone is me. Everyone, we usually say is in me. Everyone is in me, but no, everyone is me. There is no single part of consciousness. Consciousness is one. Consciousness is one. There are no consciousness. We, in illusion, our minds believe that we are many and believe that our human consciousness is so and so and is like that and like that. Okay, it is story. Okay, it's beautiful story. Okay, it's a beautiful experience. But at the beginning or at the end, there is only one. There is only one. I believe that I said once here between you that that what we named as God, but God it's only a word, say or said sometimes ago, I separate myself from myself in a way that so I could love myself. That sentence, I believe, say that what we experience as many, but it's only illusion. Beautiful and very, really real illusion when we experience it through our physical senses, but it's illusion.
Absolutely. That was very, very eloquently put. See, this is the whole point of these gatherings, is to really share this. It's not just about sharing light languages and activating people and those are awesome, wonderful things. It's about what's beyond that. It's about what is it teaching us? What is it showing us about ourselves? There is nothing in our existences. There's nothing more than knowing more of ourselves. That's it. That's all there is to existence, is knowing more of all that you are. And it's simply source creating us to go explore and add another dimension to all that is, adding another universe of another verse to the song, the Symphony of Source. And I love these questions that I've let, because there's just so much to talk about consciousness, and we don't know what we don't know. And I love the questions that are and the stuff that's coming up in the intro.
Yeah, if anyone would like to chime, there's so much happening in the chat here today, which I
it's like
freaking love in Zoom. If anyone would like to speak up and say anything they've shared, please do. I cannot possibly read all these messages out loud, and some of them are incredible, and I don't want to miss anything really awesome. So please feel free to share if anyone would like to share. Beck, I'm interested in, I'm multitasking in some things here right now, but I'm interested in what you're talking about with your message about where you feel so different in perception, because you feel you don't need to know anything anymore. I am currently going through the exact same thing. I can say that I was brought in my life very recently to a point where I had to throw my hands up in the air and say, I give up. I don't need to understand. I don't need to know. You know what? It's just whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I can only wish for the best and intend for the best. And that's my freaking job here. And I need to let the rest of it go. We're not here to save anything or save anybody. We're not here to do anything other than focus on ourselves. And that's how we see the beautiful, beneficial changes. So sorry, Dolores, what were you saying?
Yes. We don't need to understand, because we are trying to understand through our minds, but mind cannot understand consciousness. Cannot. And I'm really trying to say what I want to say in English. Sorry. You cannot let go anything. In the same way, you cannot. Usually, last few years, is very popular to work on your shadow. What does it mean to work on your shadow? You cannot lose your shadow, or your shadow doesn't exist at all. This is so much stories. There is so much mind construct about that. I very much like what Beck wrote. I feel evolving will be simplifying all to yes.
And that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys there's so much information that's going through my head right now. I'm trying to answer all of these in my head all at the same time. And it's true. Even Stefan says too, every manifestation is a manifestation of consciousness with infinite possibilities of interpretation. That's exactly right.
Yes.
Infinite possibilities of interpretation.
Yes.
And everything exists always, all the time. What do we want to focus on, and what do we want to assign meaning to? And at the end of the day, like you guys just got done saying, and we talk about too, how much do we need to know? Why do we need to? We as humans always want to know why about everything, but our mind isn't really designed for that. So it tries to assign meaning to everything, because it's not designed to do that. So it has to assign a meaning, because it needs a category. It has to have a label, or it cannot function. It just can't. So it's very interesting.
Are you sure?
And I like Sean's question. How do you know if you're conscious? Okay, Sean, I don't know. I don't know. How do I know? I don't know.
I mean, we could just be like a freaking computer simulation.
Yeah. What is consciousness anyway? Is this a virtual reality, a literal virtual reality? Well, talk about the matrix and the grids.
Maybe we are all someone else's like collective consciousness or something.
I tell you. Yeah, over the past 24 hours for myself, I definitely have been feeling like I'm living in a computer simulation, because I'm just, what is going on?
The whole computer collective consciousness that we call the internet, which is what Bashar calls the internet, is the whole collective consciousness. Really, we know that we're being observed in other realms. And so couldn't it be very well that this whole internet collective consciousness is just a stream of consciousness that's being created for all that is to just have a party? You know?
I have a question. Are you aware now, or are you experiencing something now? Anything?
Awesomeness.
No, what are you? But are you experiencing anything now?
Well, sure.
Okay. And that is what? How you are,
Is that
how you are experiencing?
so?
How do you know? How do you feel? How do you, what is that you are, how can you experience anything now?
Well, this is what Bashar says is about having an experience that every now is a different experience, and there are ways to be able to actually, oh, I have a tone in my ear, to actually experience any now and experience it, but not be it or become it, but to experience it. And so
how can you experience anything?
There you go. Who can even answer that question? So that brings us to what is consciousness? How can you? It's an experience.
That if
Everything. I think consciousness is just one big experience, right?
Through conscious, yes, through consciousness.
Consciousness is really just one big experience of a whole bunch of experiences, just like our life is one. We call our life an experience, but it's a culmination of what we believe a bunch of experiences. But we call it one life, but it's a bunch of experiences. Yeah, we could talk about this for hours, you guys. I mean, seriously, this is what people like, scholars sit and talk about this for hours and days and stuff.
But what do you mean? If any goal exists, what should it be?
Any goal?
Meaning or of our life or our existence?
Just to know more of all that you are. That is the only meaning to life, is just to simply know more of all that you are, and explore and expand and know. That's it. That is the only meaning, the only reason for being. The only reason for existence is you exist, you always will. That's the way it is. Creation wouldn't have created you unless you needed to exist to make creation. This is how it's explained to us, that you wouldn't have been created if you weren't essential to creation. And once you exist, you cannot ever unexist, never, ever, ever. And the only real meaning to anything is to simply know more of all that you are, and experience all of that you are, and share that with all that is. Simply by experiencing it, we're sharing it with all that is. That is my understanding of what meaning is, that there is no actual inherent meaning to anything except for what you assign it in that moment, but everything is simply an experience for source to experience itself through your experience. We are just the eyes, the dreams. We are really just the dreams of source. We are the imaginations of source energy.
So if we're all different points of perspective, the more points of perspective allows the experiences from those perspectives to collectively add value to all the things that are. And probably besides the point of experiencing it from a unique perspective that didn't exist before, probably another point is to create new experiences that could then be observed and experienced from all other perspectives.
So imagine that. Boy, that was really good.
Don't ask me to say it again.
That was really good. You guys will just have to rewind that. But that's really good, because then those who are experiencing others' experiences then expand their own experience, and then all it is expands from that experience of each of us sharing those experiences. We also expand and change based upon each other's experiences, and therefore all that is expands. We are constantly expanding all that is because of all that we're experiencing. So it is really good.
Well, our job is to constantly create new data of experiences. And that's sort of why the idea of the looping back, if you're not creating new experiences or new perspectives, there's no point for you. So you loop back and keep trying it over again, keep trying it over again.
Yes, and Cynthia says the one aware of itself now experience itself now. That's exactly right. Exactly. Hey, Heather, it's so good to see you. I love you. Thanks you guys for being here. That's awesome. I haven't seen some of you guys in a long time. Hey, Zach. Hey, Heather.
It's
So
a reunion day.
It is. It is. I'm so glad you guys are here sharing this with me. Thank you so much. And thank you all for all of your encouragement today. I appreciate
I'm
it.
very happy and honored to be able to be here.
Yes, it's very exciting
Me too.
to be here and this milestone for my and all these milestones today and all of you sharing it with me and Ivy has been really a huge catalyst for change in my life. That if you've been watching me for a little while, you guys may have seen the stories. So I encourage all of you to go back if you've missed some of these and you're interested to go back and look at some of these Wednesdays from when we began in June. And there's so much has happened and so much has changed in our lives and my life specifically since that time and since these Wednesdays began and since we began gathering together and meeting so many of you. And so I've explored and shared many of these experiences, my own personal experiences on these Wednesdays, and how so many of you were a part of that. And I was just thinking, gosh, Ivy, I swear, I was just thinking this morning about some things that I was feeling today, and just thinking about the emotions and things that have been about my own experience over the last 5 years that I understand as time and linear time. And I was thinking just this morning about you and about Kaz, our cosmic kitty, and how it was a Wednesday morning that my life changed forever. So I was just thinking about that this morning, that it was Tuesday that he transitioned and it was Wednesday morning that I woke up and said, I think I need to have a different experience. And so I just thought of that this morning, how it just happened to be on a Wednesday. So for what it's worth, and today equals 11. And I mean, tomorrow was the date that I actually posted my first video. But today is really, because we're together, all of us, I'm truly in that energy and that celebration. And all of this have been every single day since I started this channel has been a life-altering experience for me. Yet, of course, there are those that we call the catalysts. As Bashar would say, when you pull the rubber band so far back, the farther back you pull it, the farther it's going to fly. And I was pulled beyond my stretching point, I think. And so every now and then, sometimes all it takes is a little, I don't know, a little animal or something to come into our lives, even, or a person or experience, even for just a little while, to make some pretty drastic life-altering changes. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I was thinking about you this morning and how that happened on a Wednesday morning. So, and I never even thought of that till this morning. So thank you for being in my life, and thank you to Miguel, our lovely friend Miguel Mendonça, for introducing us. And that means a lot to me, you guys, when each of you also introduce me to other people, or when you guys are introduced to each other in these hangouts, and then you also create your own relationships and your own connections. So that is one of the biggest reasons I have always done these events of all kinds on YouTube, is for this reason, because I think the gathering of all of us is maybe even more important than the speaking of it or the doing of it or the, it's about the sharing of the experiences. You see today, we've been in this hangout the whole time. We've not even spoken light languages today yet. So isn't that interesting how, even though this is really centered around expressing our light languages, today for me, it's been about exploring what those light languages have done for my life and how, and what it's, and how it's helped me and what it's done for me and how it's changed me and changed my life and changed my vibration and healed, if we want to call it, physically and non-physically. And so, yeah, thanks you guys. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you for just, being willing to come into my life and, and actually sticking to your guidance, really sticking to your intuition, sticking to your guidance, because had you not done that, I don't know how much longer I would have,
And I think that if we stay open enough to hear our guidance, that we can follow synchronicities like breadcrumbs from the gods, and since they're from the gods, God knows where they'll end up. But you just gotta trust and have faith that, yeah, it's gonna be a good place. It's gonna be a good adventure. But tuning in.
Hi, thank you so much for that. And yes, it is. And this is one of the things I'm really looking forward to with this year is I feel like we're all going to have better adventures together. I feel like all of us are somehow, we went through some, like we're all lighter, like our actual light bodies have gone through this transition that we're all physically a lighter, higher vibrational version of ourselves than we were. When I say before, even this last full moon has been a huge catalyst for me. So I think really this transition of this year in 2020, and I want to say hi to Tara. Hey, Gloria from Tara Tees, and Zach. Hey, Zach and Maria. Thank you guys. It's so wonderful to see you guys here. I've been thinking about you, Gloria, wondering how you've been doing, thinking about you and your tea and wondering how you're doing. And so it's so nice to see you here. Oh, and there's Temple Beautiful talking about tea parties. And so there's going to be a lot of more of that too, you guys. I want to say that there's a lot of things that I want to expand and do that, aside from these Wednesday things that, once I'm getting myself a little bit more acclimated to my own and new changes in environments, there's a lot of things that I really want to do that I haven't done before and in new ways. And so doing more tea parties and really a lot of this goddess energy, a lot of divine feminine energy. There's a lot of new things that I want to do to express ourselves and be fun and playful. I think about you a lot, Ivan, because I know you're going to have like a really fun time with this. So we're going to be getting that whole divine feminine going and, and really getting the God, and look at him, the God and goddess energy going. And so, yeah, I'm really excited. Look at him. He's all like, oh my God, I can't wait.
Sometimes you word things in very amusing ways, Wendy, and that might have been one example. So I love that. You're so cute. You're getting the divine feminine going. We're getting it going.
I knew where that was going. That's why I was like, don't go there.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, you're silly.
A lot, so.
Oh my gosh. So moving forward from here, so it's been almost 2 hours now that we've been going here.
It's short today, you guys, so here.
You know how it goes. I think we say that every time.
So who wants to say hi and goodbye?
Yeah, I would like to maybe bounce around in the room here, and if anyone would like to speak anything, English, light language, beeps.
Oh, you guys too. Gloria Clark, her name's Gloria from Tara Tea. She says she's working on some tea blends today, new chakra blends, and she's actually out of Canada, and her teas are amazing.
All organic, and she grows them herself, right?
Oh my God, there's yes. So you got to read her story. Go to her site, Terra Teas. You guys, she has sent us some amazing teas, and we've had tea parties. So we were talking about me, Temple Beautiful, Alicia. We've had some tea parties with her tea, and we owe her another one because her sound wasn't so good that day. So that's another thing I haven't forgotten about is doing more tea parties together. We literally bring and we have our tea, we bring our teacups and we have our tea party and we dress up. We dress up for our tea parties and we wear crazy shit. So, you know, it's just, we just make it fun. And so I'm really looking forward to doing more of that. And of course, bringing more light languages and songs and singing and toning. And so, yeah, go ahead. Hi, Parky. Just want to say hi. Ivan, anybody else who wants to say hello or say anything at all? Keep talking.
Okay. Prakatinoki, Danakadao, Parakatine to Mosh, Nanakauturis, Taranekofuro, Paralito, Mirkatarana, Kashiheto, Mararekutoro, Kotumo, Taralano, Shika Eto, Zed Ika, Noroka Ika Nakaus, Nana Niuchu, Marara, Tavaleno, Komodo Shintabai, Kashamatao, Kaan. Zaakuku raa shika dur niakadise torakatanika. Zon ok lulik al elokutonika ashikuro. Sana oku modak nalaka enaka shu tarakashikata zik nurek sha adura kadi. Dana okumo toro tarakika. El okunomeka hashika akura yak dia tropaka. Tina kapoye satanai norakatani zono da dololo tijia koroyaka norak nechika toroko nanaka naka.
Do you have any idea of what the any of the information or the source of that information is? And you don't have to share it if you don't want to, but I was just wondering.
Galactic communication.
That's fine.
Super galactic.
That's fine. Yeah, that's what I was.
Transgalactic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mjuna hiasha na shikia India ananana nianama aikia nanema aloma shudova anina maloko mani ananako. Ema ina miana miana itevaki ishama inanako unta yavase inda yasama India sama la India shaba entire amakota entire ma ananato una. Ino ma India sana into embashes entire amona nama etayana nema namalaki into yava unta yashana si intiara. Ona antu unda mi inu unta kesha sa unta kesha sa en pa anti kesha na ito dia antiato kesha se into antiara mi anta ya ambata shi antia anane kitabi isona si antia into ambaki itucha si esha shina itu ba intiki kiata sala into tia indare kuta into ra ku ni intiara si intaya unta ana I for e ana I po o nana e to entia I ana ti ukua I umpa I ana ka e tasha I for onte e a mi atakia lisha sa e taia ama e tai e na be e oma ki e te ka antai I no nama e te ku a I vasha se e da ki e to diata ia amanda e da I shona e tare e ma anana e antia anke o ma o le ko te aro ni pa entia ontai insana. There's been a lot of galactic energy around here too the last couple of days. And so I wanted to say to you, Don, that I believe that we've met at least once in the astral in the last at least week. So I wanted to say to you, thank you for your work. I actually can see a meeting that we have just recently attended, and I wasn't even aware of it till you came just now. Well, I'm hearing things like laying the new foundation, and we too have been discussing creating the new blueprint reality for a lot of different things. So I just feel like we've been in conversation, in meetings. Just so, do you see, you guys, how until he started speaking, I really wasn't even aware, or I wasn't consciously aware of this until I started seeing what he was saying and hearing and what they're telling me. And they're saying the same thing, galactic councils, and it all has to do with this next wave and 2020 and what's going to be happening, and what those of us that do, all of you who are all here, those of us that do this kind of energy work, if that's, it's just a loose term, but those of us that are doing this intentional work, it's like stepping up to the plate. It's stepping up our game. It's a whole new way of doing what we do. And there's so much more to it. And there's a lot of things that I'm feeling the energy of a lot of the decisions that were made at some of these meetings. And so I'm feeling a big shift. And also I was just reminded, I was just reminded too. Well, that's a whole nother thing, and I don't want to get into right now, but the American political system, there's something happening. I just heard it in my head just now. Something that we met about also has something to do with the current political systems, not just in America, but other political systems. So none of this stuff would have even come to my awareness, and I'm kind of getting that feeling that I get. So none of this would have come to my awareness until you shared that light language. So do you see how this works, you guys? That it brought back it reminded me of a whole thing that just happened.
Wow. Do you think that has anything to do with the government meetings with, are those happening right now? Do you know?
I have no idea, because honestly, I have been so out of the loop.
Yeah, me too. I've been
everything with Jim and
yeah,
and I don't know what's going on, so I couldn't tell you. Are there meetings happening right now?
Do you know, Don?
Well, then
have you heard about that stuff recently?
Yes,
Okay.
Huh. I wonder if that's connected.
Because it's only been in the last
Everything
few
that
days
happens
that I've been.
Everything that happens in sequence is a connection.
Yep.
It's all happening now. It's all moving forward. So just be patient.
Because I haven't remembered any of my dreams for until the last few days. They're just starting to. So, but there have been I've been waking up knowing some things have been happening, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on. And then when you came in today, I could tell right away before you even said anything. And then when you started talking, I could hear. And then when you said the galactics, like I knew exactly what you were talking about. So, and I didn't even realize that. I should have realized that there were meetings going on and that I've been there. So.
Yeah, I was getting a feeling from that being, Don, that was just speaking through you. Like, I picture like a more, how do I describe it? It's just a feeling I'm getting of that energy of that. Do you think that was a male being?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was male. And like, I don't know. And this civilization that's just kind of chill and humble. And they're just like, hey, this is what's going on, and talk. That's the idea that the feeling. That was really cool. Thank you, both of you. Can we have Beck share next? Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's share some light languages and less comments, and we'll get wrapping up here. Yes.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah,
Thank you, Don, very much. I really appreciate that, Don. I really needed to hear that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I was getting something through, but I feel I need to answer something back to that first.
Sure, go ahead, please do. That's one of the reasons why we do this.
It's also reminded me that a few nights back, I seen this massive flash in the sky. It looked like a star had exploded. So I just wanted to mention that as well, because it feels like it's significant. It doesn't feel that it's of this time. So I was awake, but what I was seeing may not have been of this now, as in now. Yeah, it's happened a few times where I've been shown things like, but it come through more as a solar flash, even though it was dark and it was a star. So just take what resonates with that. What I was getting back with what you was both talking about, I'll just answer that first, and then there was something else coming through before that. Adara sunti aske anta ka to commission anta undi anta ata ke ata ko sun sete sa to ko inda sa to ko eshe she enta tata sukutu ko eshe enta tata so ko umba anta ko anta anto te sa ka to eshe tata so umba ya to untuk unta ese etuko asa kon untuk edra sakutu odia sakatu oshun to de untuk umbayan tata untuk unta sa untuk ese shi de asa kutu okoko eke asa kutu oshe eke esa to okoko eshin tata asukutu okoto okote eshin tata ondoko minna na kuno unta ya to umba ase edoya da do oya da de eke ata ko odo e a. That was just replying to that part. It felt like it was really relating to the skies.
Una itabi inuma inami anuma ashana ituba anikila ko inkiashana se inti aba inkiashana baleshana to video na malakatia pasana to via nama iteba ananayato anu. Ainomila keshana se vashana te veloma kelieto de vashana sutevekia manakotavia anamiato aina naku shevashana tisha mekia. You know, I have to say I think this is actually directly related. Actually, it's also directly related to something we were talking about before, and we watched it last night. It's part of it, the 5 hybrid races from Bashar.org. But there's something about the human race upgrade that is what's going on right now in this conversation. So I'm feeling like there's something energetically happening that we're talking about the process of the upgrade of the human race. So as both of you were talking, I was getting that feeling.
The accelerated shortcut.
Yes, oh my God, yes. That's right. He was talking about an accelerated shortcut where we don't have to go through all of the things that all of the other races went through, that we get to hop over and jump through a bunch of those instead of going through all of the stages that we would have had to go, that we did go through to become the human race that we are now. We get to jump over a bunch of those stages to become the next version of the next hybrid race. This conversation has something to do with the beginning of that happening.
Wow, that's big. And it would make sense too with the people, the human beings that are awakening on this planet in such exponential rates, and us who are, learning about this information, learning about how to change our lives and improve ourselves and become the version of ourselves that we want to become, and listening to information from, sources like Bashar and other channelers who are literally sharing the fact that they're like, hey, we can shift into any reality we want to moment by changing our frequency. And that's what we do all the time. And that's how we live in our realities. And you can do that too. And you're getting there. That would make sense, Wendy. We're shifting.
He says you're
faster.
doing it already naturally, moment by moment. He says it's just not becoming aware that you are.
Right. It's about the conscious, the conscious creation of reality, moment by moment, based off of your.
It comes back to even what Laura said about experience, that we're consciously creating it, but we're creating an experience. So it's almost like this just gets so layered, you guys, because of all the information I received that I can't even say it fast enough or articulate it the way I'm receiving it. So, but do you see how all of this in the light languages that we're bringing forth, it almost like explains it without having to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. So that's
Beck.
So yes, please, you guys, let's continue.
Beck wants to say something.
Yeah, go ahead, please do.
Yeah, the other part of it, I was going to say non-related, but it feels like it probably is. It's just usually what happens, isn't it? I was getting through colours, so I was getting through violet and like magenta, but more raspberry, and it's to do with love and peace. So am I all right just channeling that through as well?
Please.
Was that the color you were seeing today?
Shedaya shohiada isu sheeda sa umboyondo o. Sendara to he shadara aso sho o. She asandole salasa odo suko o. Sarasi shiada se eda sa tosho o. Hensarate shandaro humbo de se de she. Undo sobo Undoro seshe eda sado o umboro sodosho. Inge eshe de a dodo umbo doro osho. Sho undo de ese ashada a tago o. Endara se sarato osho. Osho osoro de eshe de asado darasa sho o she darasi asoso yeshe a daraso do she de esada osoto eshe de ese ashado osoto eshe da eshe ada odo o da da shadow osoro toto eshe adara a he de eshe eda eshe adara osho o enda esha a enda adodo ho da so oshodo de eshe a do da asoro to de gato to de a otate da ora sashi da rasodo da ishi adaro o hindi ago o ki araka kiki ada do kore hiansa de isha do o.
Ida shorhea vashana sivi iva ishana ima ina duku amate elahiva shana savishna se ina miloku. Tara Tees in the chat says that she, a little bit ago, she said she felt Arcturian energy. And when you were talking about the colors, that higher octave, if you will, the Arcturians basically, well, they're really non-physical actually. And they often appear to us as that, as they have come to me as like an indigo purple, kind of almost like a deep, dark blue, but deep purple energy. They come to me as a physical, but they're not physical. And so they show me what, like a physical representation, but they're non-physical. And so when I read that and I was listening to you speaking, it was as if I could feel those higher octaves of teachers and their presence, including, the Arcturians. So
it's really interesting too, just to add in a connection earlier in the YouTube live chat, Nova was typing something and she said her phone accidentally typed the word Dorian. And she just happened to put it there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was speaking with the Dorian race on Sirius B, which is a Arcturian dolphin, and I think Zeta Gray hybrid species, if I remember correctly.
Something like, I remember that.
Can I show a picture?
Oh yeah.
Of blue?
I even remember what they look like. They're so
yeah. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here because this is, I hope it's okay that, you know, Khan was the artist, and this was like when he was putting that book together, and I'm not sure if he's still doing that. But let me show this just because I think the synchronicity is way too cool that the Arcturians have come in here through that channeling. Okay, so I'm going to do, hold on a second. I need to be smart about this. I got so much stuff open on my computer right now.
100 windows open again.
Oh, I can't even tell you what I have open. I'm surprised my computer is running. So this was like his rough draft for this book. I certainly hope he does not mind. I would love to reconnect with him. He's incredible. So can you see this?
That's him. Yes.
That's so her name's Blue. And she's a race, she's a being of the Dorian race on Sirius B. And this is, and her message for humanity through the channeling was so beautiful. She was essentially saying, like, we are an aquatic race. We have extremely advanced technology that we use underwater. And her daughter was talking to us, and her daughter said, I love learning about time travel. It's my favorite thing to learn about. And we really like to create art through frequencies underwater and seeing the colors dance in front of us through the frequencies that we speak and sing. And it was such an incredible conversation. So I just wanted to share that really quickly. And
who was the artist on that, Bree? Do you remember?
Khan. That was Khan. K-A-A-N. And his website, I'll see if I can find it. Maybe he still has his, I think it's Art of Khan.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think it's Art by Khan or Art of Khan. Oh my God.
Art of Khan.
Amazing, you guys, the beings that he draws. His artwork is amazing.
Yeah, this is it. I found it. I'm going to put the link into the YouTube live chat. This guy's incredible.
Yeah,
I miss him.
Check it out. I miss him too. So yeah, we'll put out. Let's put out an energetic beacon to him to come hang out with us, because he actually has offered many times, you guys, to draw beings for us.
Yeah, he receives this stuff intuitively. So one person will be channeling or speaking light language, and then all of a sudden he'll just start drawing.
He starts drawing, and
incredible, very fast. Yeah. So got a little sidetracked, but I just wanted to share because this was all connected.
Oh, I appreciate that very much, very much.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Hey, Dolores,
thank you, Dolores.
I know it's getting late.
It is getting late.
You want to go
Okay, I want to share something. I want to ask something, then I want to share something.
Yay!
First, I want to ask you, do you feel or sense or get some information about, I got a new name today. LL.
Wait a minute. How do you spell it?
E-L-E-L.
All right, you're freaking me out. You are freaking me out. I got to show it to you. Where is it?
Whoa,
Where
Dolores.
Okay.
L means God, doesn't it?
So
in Elohim.
Well, that's
Elohim, Elohim,
Elohim, Yahai, the L collective, E-L, are the very first collectives that came to me, and the Elohim is part of them. And they said, that's part of what they said is we are of the L-E-L. But what freaks me out, you guys, is maybe I shouldn't take it out of the baggie. I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Oh boy, what are we about to see here?
Today,
oh my gosh.
Just today.
I was speaking light language to my friend, and she told me U-R-L-L.
Well, this
what?
is
Yes, your name is LL.
That sounds very fitting. Like it feels right. And I also would like to mention the hilarious synchronicity of light language being abbreviated with LL.
I know, I thought about
that. And you being a light language linguist.
Yeah.
So I had to point that out.
That I found this morning, and it was laying here, and it came from, I believe, I don't know, one of my grandmothers or my great grandma, and it was laying here, and you'll have to zoom in for me, Bree, or whatever it is, magic that you do. And And I said to Dave, oh my God, I got to pick this up because it's so tiny and I have to make sure I don't lose it, because this was a message for me too. And if you look I don't know, let me see if I can get this, you guys, so you can see it. Do you see what letters those are?
Oh.
E-L. E-L. They said to me when I got this, they said to me, you are part of that family, the L, the E-L, the L, the Elohim, the L. There you go. E-L.
Yes. There is no.
You can't make this shit up, you guys.
Okay, I have to add something to all of this. So, crazy synchronicities that I might as well share on live air, because we're at it right now. That's what we're doing. So our friend Jacqueline Smith, who is, you're familiar with Jacqueline Smith, right, Dolores? Okay, so her friend sent her a light language playlist on SoundCloud. The only other light language speaker that this friend of hers sent was your playlist, Dolores.
Dolores?
And yes.
Wow.
And he does not know that I'm friends with Dolores. There's no indication on SoundCloud that I'm friends with Dolores yet. And he sent that to her, and I received the message because I'm her digital assistant. And I saw it and I was like, what? I almost fell out of my chair. And then it was something, and then she listened to your light language and she said something like, I felt so much from that, and I feel like I know her, or something, of course, no. And the ancient energy, you know, that like that very, very old ancient energy of all time sort of thing that you are always transmitting, Dolores. And it was so incredible. And in addition to the synchronicity, she just released all sorts of cool new material on her website, including a free ebook about mantis beings, where she talks about her knowledge and her experiences with mantis beings, and the fact that she's part mantis. I need sleep. You can go to JacquelineSmith.com and check that out. And then she also released new light language tracks. One's free for download, and one is called Ilana.
We were just talking about that name.
I know.
Is it E-L or A-L?
Well, she spells it, I think it's E-L. It might be E-E-L-A-N-A. I'll see if I can find it here, but it's on her website. It's on her SoundCloud, which is called Light Language. Her SoundCloud is literally called Light Language.
Yes,
oh, you know.
Yes, because I had the message, and I believe his name is Mark.
Yes, so she's working with Mark.
Yes, two of us. Yes.
Oh my God. So what? There's a lot of people that are doing this stuff online now, and the fact that happened is blowing my mind. And then this Ilana. So Ilana is another aspect of Jacqueline's soul, from what I'm understanding. Wendy, she's just starting to share this information with me and figure it out herself, or maybe she's known about it for a while. But there's a new track that she just made, a new light language track. It's posted on her SoundCloud, and I think it's called Ilana, and it might be Arcturian Shaman. I have to go and freaking look. I mean,
the name of my soul is Alea. Okay, but can I ask something else? What I wanted? Okay,
please.
Okay, I'm going through very challenging and hard time for me last few weeks, and today especially, all the day that message are coming, and almost all the time. But I'm not, because of my condition now, I'm not able to get the message. But what I'm asking you, if you'll be so kind as to help me, I will share that what is coming, and I'm asking you to receive message if you can, and to tell me, okay?
Talking about me.
You and everyone who want, okay?
Okay, let's open it to anybody then, not just me.
Yes, yes. Hea hatahana halehewa hamaruana keote. Hela halahana hata kirawana hamate. Hea hatahana hela harawana hanta yoko. Niheleya. Nihawa hamuki taranaya takaleanaha. Nihalawa hanyako. Himahuoto haneya ka tarana. Hela hatahana kiarawana hationoko. He mahmahmawationo kiara hatananaka. Nihia kia tarana haleo. Nihiewanaha. Nikia harana hantananaka. Hela mahuano yoko tiarneya. Heia noho kiawanaha. Niheleo kioho. Mahmawanahe. Nihilea hatarana havamante ke yoha. Elarahana ko woho. Ni anaka. Himawahne halaya rake. Heima hawana hantaranana kali heyokowana. Ihienena kiatara hamawe yoko mahe. Nihia katarana yetehlarana vaka yonoko. He hanarara harkat awanya to koyona lahayete. Nihelea hata na he waha yoko. He muena hamationo koraha. He mahane kitara hana hava yonoko he. Niarneta ladnaya vakato na alaya na kiatit nara. Shashashuno torwa mamaka. Hetla kete ariane ke tahaya ke. Yahana kiroane. Kalhanate, kalharamana, kalhahueya hetara, hueya ehwamane hetalara, lahla clarana, lahla creeyona, emuento, hela, heyaka.
Anybody? I'm looking, see, I keep looking at Ivan and I'm like, what's going on there? I'm like, why am I keep looking at Ivan?
Why is he smiling?
Because he's a happy guy.
I smile because I've been integrating more and more with Shamuel.
Well, see, and that's why I was thinking too that we've been talking here the last couple of minutes about the El and the Elohim and the angelics, and all of a sudden, right now, I got really hot. So that's what happens when I get into that energy. And so I was looking at you, and I was thinking about the angels, and I was just thinking about someone who just bought me some angel wings, and I was going to tell you to bring them. So all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I got angel energy going on. So that was my take on it, is I was getting that vibration of that energy of course, that we've been talking about, the El. There's, I forget how many there are, and I think they mentioned more than one, even in like scriptures in the Bible and stuff. But and we've had channelers talk about the El collective, and I would say that probably without a doubt, everybody who will see, because I think sometimes about what I'm saying, because I'm like, am I saying it? Am I filtering it? Am I, so, but what I'm hearing is, of course, that since we're all here and we're all together, that that is the presence right now, and a connection for all of us here present, and all of you out there who are there and watching, because we can't be in that frequency together if we can't be. It's physically, as we talk about physics, it's not possible to be in the same vibration. So that's what I was gathering from that, and that's what I was feeling from that, that all of us are, even though we're all of that is, each of us have come here with a theme to represent different frequencies and levels of these ideas. And whether you think you are or not, for example, like I'm hearing now, we drink a lot of tea here. So I was just thinking about that with Gloria and Tara Teas, and how it doesn't matter what we're doing, we are, as part of that collective, we are all doing that in our work, whatever our work is. And so that was the message I was receiving. Sorry about Ranger. He's impatient because he wants to eat and go out. So he's being crazy. So sorry, guys. He's like, are you done yet? I'm hungry and I want to go outside. So that's the information I was receiving, that, and to confirm for you too, and all of us, that whole idea of the L collective, that even though we don't believe necessarily what we are being, and as we were talking, it was just 555 my time here, and this is my fifth year anniversary, and so I just thought it was kind of funny. And today's the 15th, which is another 5, and then I've also met Dave 5 months ago. So I thought it was very interesting that the 555 anyway. So that is a symbol for a catalyst for change for the human collective consciousness, that idea of the 5 and the 555. So that's what I was receiving, that each and every one of us are a part of those L collectives, and that each of us are transmitting that information in different ways and different forms and different vibrations throughout everything that we're doing. And I can say that confidently with all of us present and all of you who are watching and will watch, because you cannot be part of this if you aren't part of that vibration.
Thank you. Why I was asking that? Because all the day I'm strongly feeling that I'm receiving some message, and I'm feeling it very, very strong on my emotional level, and experience it very emotionally, but I cannot reach the meaning.
Look, guys. Yes, I have my own set of angel wings. And they're actually real feathers, guys. These are real white feathers.
Whoa, it's Wendy's 5-year YouTube anniversary, and she's wearing angel wings. So this is happening right now. This is a moment in time. That was very sudden. Okay,
guys, a big surprise for me. So
yeah, that was a big surprise. All right, so Dolores, that's very cute. Dolores, what were you saying? That was, did you finish your? I think you were mid-sentence.
What I said, or what?
Were you mid-sentence? I'm sorry. I want to make sure you were able to finish.
I got surprised.
I said that I received message on emotional level very strong, but I cannot reach the meaning of message, because I'm feeling that very, very important message for me is coming through the day, all day.
I told Dave today too how I was having a very emotional day today too. So for a lot of other reasons, but I feel that all of this has something to do with all of this, and you and what you were feeling today and the name you received. Don, go ahead.
Oh, bye, Don.
Oh, he wants to leave. Oh,
Bye. See you later.
thank you. And thank you for that.
Thanks for
message.
coming.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I'm feeling some of your energy, Dolores, and maybe it's not something that you need to understand with your logical
You don't
mind.
know exactly what you need to know in the perfect timing for you. And I think what you learned today, and even with my synchronicity of that little, whatever that was, that little necklace thing, I think confirms what the message that you got today from your friend. And I think that alone is part of what you're processing. Just that knowing.
You know, when you are in a situation as I am now, your mind and your person need to have some information. So I can go through it confidentially and easily and without so many pain. So that is the reason I want to reach the meaning of information that was coming all the day to me now.
And we understand, and I understand what you're saying, and I understand what you're feeling. I really do. And I think that this was part of your answer. It was a confirmation, definitely a confirmation. I can't believe that.
In this time, I mean, what a crazy, I mean, today, the fact that we're having this hangout today on the 15th, and the 15th being the day of massive energy shift moving forward now. And, you know, we're in the year 2020. We're really coming into our full awareness now, or like, you know,
11, and we're in an 11-11 year. The 2020 is an 11-11 year. It's that energy. And you're going to hear a lot of that from a lot of channelers through the whole year.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, this is an opportunity for you to feel all sorts of things that you need to feel. And it's more about the feeling than it is about the translating, I think. At least currently right now. Maybe it's just for today, you know, and your answers are going to come to you. You know they do. You receive the insight. You receive the knowing, and you are very clear in that. And when you're not clear in that, it's because you aren't meant to be in that moment for reasons you don't know at the time and nobody else does until later on.
We talk about that a lot. We talk about that.
Yeah. So I think that right now, what's important is for you to allow yourself to feel and to be okay with processing those emotions and releasing that energy. Because when we're going through massively heavy stuff that we have a hard time wrapping our minds around, and then needing to make decisions and all of that, it's a lot to go through. And us respecting and honoring that process instead of resisting and trying to fight and change and fix. And that's really what I'm finding, at least personally, is the most beneficial for our own evolution and journey and ascension, is like being with yourself, being aware, being present, and letting these things shift out of you instead of shoving them down and saying, stop that, I don't want that, I'm not going to see that, because you're essentially telling a consciousness that it's not good enough when it just wants to be seen, heard, so it can leave.
I don't have that problem what you are talking about. I completely agree with you.
Okay.
Really, I'm
misinterpreting some of this.
I have to do some things. I have to complete some things. I have to help to someone, and it is beyond of my physical possibility, and that's the reason why I don't know how to explain, but okay. Thank you with your help. Okay, I accept what everything is, everything what is, I accept. I don't Oh. Just a second, please. That is one word that I always forget. I don't resist what is. That what is really don't. I accept everything, but the decision what to do in circumstances when you are not physically able to do what is needed to do, that is the problem.
Yeah.
Without any emotional receiving and what's happening and responding and so on.
Well, there's some nice messages in the chat too, Dolores. So make sure that you check the live chat too, because there's lots of blessings to you and love and support. And so yeah, there's a lot of people sending you messages, and
Thank you very much.
so just so you know, of course, you all know that you're not alone. That's why we're here. That's why we do this
Yes.
together. And you always know if you need me, I'm here. So I'm, if you need,
Thank you.
if you need me, I'm here. And that goes for all of you. That's why we're here together. And look here, here, Bree and I, we're both same thing today. We're both like, well, she's had not much sleep and I'm tired. So let's keep it short. And here we are 3 hours later because we love what we do and we are passionate about it beyond every other thing. And so this is for us, it's for me, it's for all of you. I created this channel, not just for me, but for all of you, and for all of you to see through all of my playlists and everything that I shared, all the people that were part of my own journey and helped me wake up. This channel wasn't just about me. Actually, it was never about me. It was about this and all of this and sharing it and sharing my journey, my experiences, the languages themselves, the activations, the information, the channeled information through them. So I just can't tell you how humbled and blessed and how gracious I really do feel that all of you are part of my life, that I've met all of you. I feel closer to you than my physical peoples all my life. When I found all of you, it was like I found my other family, or however we want to call it. And so I really believe, here I'm sitting with angel wings, but I've always truly believed that was part of my job here, was as an angel to bring down this information, harmony, peace. How do we navigate and feel peace in our hearts and contentment with what is going on around us? And how do we change our state of being? How do we make our bliss, our passion, our state of being more important than anything else, and realize that is what creates our future, what we understand as our future. And so all of you have been a part of that for me. And I want to thank all of you for your presence, your love, your support through whether it's today or all the days prior, for 1 minute or 5 years, it doesn't matter. I love all of you. And I feel just so grateful to be part of this, and to thank you, Bree, and Dolores, and of course, Dave and Ivy and everyone, Sean, gosh, Sean. And so wonderful, Ivan, to see you have bloomed and grown so fast, so quickly, and went from just being curious to speaking light languages to embodying the angels and bringing messages and channeling and doing videos now, and Dolores too, starting videos, and everybody just really blooming and blossoming. And to thank all of you who are on Wednesdays when we're getting our lives together, you're all waiting for us to interact, and it's a joyful thing. Even when we're not at our best, we become our best when we're with all of you, and you bring us up, you give us inspiration and power and energy and all the things that we need to do this and to bring all of this to you. You guys help bring that to us, and both of us, we're going to keep this to really short today, and look at us. So I wanted to thank all of you, and all of you who came to support me today and who've been with me, and just Zach and Heather and Cynthia and all of you, Gloria and everyone. It's just so wonderful to see all of you. Thank you, Sean. I'm probably just going to let it go. We really need to get going. So if anybody really wants to do any quick light languages before we go, please do. And we're going to close out, and I probably won't even do anything. I may do a quick response, and that's it. So
Yeah.
let's close out. With
That sounds good. Okay. Ivan unmuted. So go for it, Ivan.
All right. I'm being pushed by.
Of course.
Go for
Always
it, right?
gotta twist your arm, don't they, Ivan?
Iere te tuhuta yo o da e iaria. Tohate I te yo tuhuaira I te oara. Hiare e ua tita ia riete to hoaia. Hiare e ua to tohotuaia I te to. O hoho iari o to. O haiare. O hore e ia to. Toha e I iere ia. Tohua ia te toa ia. Hihare e ua to. Tohua ietera. Yerera iti e uaio. Oh my God, Samuel's freaking giggle are us today. What the hell is that all about?
They're always laughing.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's like, raise your freaking hand. I'm like, guys, calm down, calm down. We'll get there, relax. Usually they're the ones that tell me to calm down, but right now they're like, oh my God.
And thank you for that. And you totally got to come in and hang out with us again. And we got to make a day of it. So, and thank you, all of you out there. Go, yes, did you want to say anything, Sean?
Yeah, he said he wants to go next. Go for it.
Hi, mic check. Can you all hear me properly?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say, hey, all, love you all. Hope you're having a blessed time. Now for the language. Yasunon yata na yato de yamu yatishi. Shia katoto manana ete ania. Yashi. Sonononawa. Mamuata tokoto. So sunamumwa. Yana na ete akae. Shanane ete nono. Uwamia. Tika yati yashi. Sononayana. Talaya kuna. Waptodoniashi, Shiamamoya, Yanana Tala, Eakoto, Siashi, Sono Ola Alakana, Wayashiasha, Yasosiashi, Tokododa Towa, Moya Tane, Yakaete, Tekadoto Rumwa, Moya Shirayato, Toniata, Taneatia, Yangia Koshi, Shiaso, Tu Maya Telaya, Yatunai, Wanyashia Soto. Kanatea diahwa, wana eteanai, eshiahwa, wana wa eteasi, kuda eshia, wakumwa, tealea, showi, yaniasia so sunai, tanakakok shia natukono, alaki ete, tukotonia, siniyamwa, moyaka ete ashia sonono. Noneatane wahiata shunia kiadia no moa tiana nae mamayashi bamoa kiata sunia yati tia moa leania shoya here. Thank you. Much love.
Nasia Toshiana. Thank you, Sean. Nava Oshina Sivitia Maila Kita Vashuno Deviliana Tiatariki Sevashunoti Itia Sanasati Lakiano. Mashato Itayishana Sate Iliku Senasete. Thank you so much for being here, dear brother. Nashama Ilaki Senasete. Thank you for that beautiful message. Veshanativa Intia Senasete Ilakia. And all the reminders that I got through it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Oh my gosh, there's so much love. I feel like just this whole webinar today has just been outpouring of love. I'm feeling so much for you, Wendy, for what you have created here. And I know we've done this together, but it's because you said, yeah, I'm ready to do that. Yeah, we can do that. All right, let's commit. Let's do this. And it's a big deal. I mean, this is not, this is a labor of love. And I really want to publicly say thank you from myself, from my soul to you, Wendy. what instrumental parts we play, right?
Yep. Cut it
So
out.
I know, getting sappy here, but this is a big time and it's a big
Get the
deal.
credit.
Thank you,
Both
Ivy.
of you. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you, Ivy.
Obviously, it takes you both to make this manifest and to have made it manifest. Look at the connections.
For sure.
And, you know, I'm not here every week, but I've bopped in and out and had some really interesting experiences because of this collection of people and gone, wow, what the hell was that? After the thing was over, or went, well, damn. You know?
Yeah, I know. Well, damn.
Facilitating that.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Ivy.
It's your
Well,
fault,
as I
both of
say,
you,
know,
all of you. Party's only made by the people that attend.
Yes. Speaking of a party, Wendy, it's your YouTube anniversary, so gotta wear my party hat, okay? All right. The Pyramid Spiritual Societies movement.
got me angel wings. We got our Be a Buddha party hat.
Yeah. So Wendy's an angel, and I'm a pyramid head. Not the pyramid head from Silent Hill. I'm not down with that pyramid head. People who have played the video game or watched the horrible movies, horrifying, maybe not horrible. Ivan knows what I'm talking about. All right. Anyway, I'm
tuned in, guys, because there's going to be more of this, more parties, more party hats, more play.
Oh yeah, more pyramids. You know, they'll
stuff, so
descend from the heavens and all sorts of fun games with pyramids. Okay. Yeah, you know, I this is a really big deal, and personally in my own life, like, there's been a lot happening that I'm just like, moment by moment, like, okay, what do we have to address next? Because, oh my God, there's so much going on. And at the same time, you know, despite everything, I knew that I felt how impactful today would be for me just emotionally. And I can definitely say that yet again, as every week goes, since we started today until now, massive shifts in myself, in my emotional state, in my mental state. And I cannot possibly emphasize to the human population what light languages does for me on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, when I am going into those paths. I'm going down those roads that I don't want to be going down mentally, the hamster wheels spinning, and it's like light language is instantaneously makes everything okay, makes it easier to deal with, makes it easier to get through, shifts me into a place where I'm capable and I feel like empowered. And like I feel the love, and I'm really starting to feel that love. I'm starting to feel energy and sense beings and have these telepathic connections and communications. And Wendy, for me, has been instrumental in me believing that I can even do any of that. Because she knows I've spent these years being like, oh, look at these other people who can do these things. Ah, my pyramid head.
I told her that so many
times. Know,
you can do it too.
Right. And that goes for everybody. That goes for everybody who, if there's something you want to do, have psychic abilities, you know, have telepathic connections, sense energy, see auras, speak light language, heal, energy heal, all of it is possible, and all of us have these abilities. So, you know, I really feel like today is the day for me to gush and say, thank you, Wendy.
Well, thank you for gushing, you guys.
You're very welcome. You're very, very, very welcome.
Gushing well, so.
It's so funny. You are so funny. I think that I'm going to speak a light language blessing while I'm wearing this ridiculous pyramid hat.
That's a great idea, and I think
which is actually
I love
an energy tool, as ridiculous as it looks.
Hey, I have
There's-
a paper pyramid too that I got at the pyramid conference. You
Yeah.
guys, and I do wear it. I
Yeah.
don't have it here, but I do wear it. So
Doesn't it have like all the seasons on it or something? All the elements. Each side of it is it's like earth, air, fire, water. What are you giggling about?
I'm laughing because I brought my plug and everything out here, and I never actually plugged in my computer. So I'm like, oh, my battery's running low.
Oh,
It's okay.
oh, dang.
It's plugging it in right now. The plug's there. I just never attached it. So see you guys what happens.
Well, I'm glad the live stream is
Forget
still
the
going.
obvious, you know, plug in your computer, you know.
Yeah, hey, well, I feel like I'm forgetting everything obvious today. I'm functioning at like 5% capacity. And Ivy says I look radiant, or I am radiant. Thank you. I've had to put up with a lot in the last 24 hours, and I'm kind of at that point now where I'm just like, okay, this is what's up. Like, I'm not going to be messing around or, you know, not saying things to, like, I'm not there. I'm not in that energy. That probably made no sense. Okay. All right. I'm going to do light.
You do a blessing, and then you could go off the air. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Cynthia, Zach, Gloria, everybody out there. I'm so happy you guys are here. Heather, thank you all. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, everyone who's been with me all of this time. And please do visit. Keep visiting. Keep coming. Keep light languages. Keep sharing. Do what you're doing. Be passionate about everything that you're doing, and just don't have any expectation, because I never thought when I started this channel that I would be sitting here 5 years later even having this conversation. So because I had just had no expectations of any of it. So thank you all. And thank you, Bree. Thank you for all your help with all of this. And I love you all. I really do. There's nothing more I can say than I love you. Mi vaša na tevele sono vai I shana sele liando kuya shana se te liaso mi ati ile kushana se lavishano se ilaki sona sete la koshana. Go for it, Bree. I know you got a light language blessing. We're going to be off the air, and I'm going to be on Friday on Awake TV at 3 p.m. And I'm probably going to be an extension of all of this, celebrating a little bit.
Oh my God, we have to talk about that. Wendy. Wait. Okay, so you, okay, so if anyone would like to join us.
Oh my God, how can I forget? That's what we decided to do.
Okay, so this Friday, because tomorrow is Wendy's technical 5-year anniversary on YouTube, on Friday for Wendy's show on Awake TV Network, which again is free to watch for the public while it's live and the next 12 to 18 hours. You can go to awaketvnetwork.live to watch her at that time. And so we decided it would be fun to have like a group hangout like we do here on Awake TV Network for the lovely people who like hanging out with us.
We forgot about that, and that was one of the things I thought we could do together is, you guys, if you're watching, you can
email me, right? That's what we decided. Email me awaketvbree, BREE @gmail.com, and say, hey, I'd like to participate in the Awake TV show on Friday with Wendy, and then I will send you the Zoom link and you can hop into the room with us as Wendy's live streaming. It goes for an hour. It starts at 3 p.m. EST on Friday.
Guys, there's no
1 hour.
deviation. It starts on time and it ends on time.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
deviation.
It's not like this. So we gotta stick to the hour. We would love for people to share light languages, share about their stories. And you're right, I should put the email in the chat. Thank you for reminding me. Limited brain function.
Thank you for reminding me, because it was something that we talked about, and I said, what can I do next week that could be fun and celebrated? And so I decided for the Awake TV show, one of the shows, at least one, they told me I could have as many guests as I wanted. So I decided for this one, for this Friday, that I would put that out there for you guys. Send Bree an email. She will send you a Zoom link. It's the same as this. It's just a Zoom link, and that's all there is to it. She will send you the Zoom link to you personally. So that's the only way that you guys can get to be part of the room or be involved, is you got to get her your email address. So I apologize for the late notice, but I figured, hey, if you want to be there Friday, it's 3 p.m. Eastern time, and it's only for 1 hour on broadcast on Awake TV, and then that broadcast will be there like this one on Awake TV's network television for anybody to go see. All the subscribers will then get to see you guys. So
Yeah.
if you guys want to do that and you want to share your light languages or anything else, like I said, we only have an hour, so we have to keep it quick. So you're all welcome. So
that'd be so fun, right? So we can all gather together and talk about light languages and our experiences, and how Wendy has assisted so many people in their own journey of awakening through sharing light languages, and how so many of us are now stepping into that role as well and doing that ourselves. And I can say for myself, confidence to do so definitely has been ignited and inspired by dear Angel Wing Wendy.
Thank you for buying my angel wings, even though, of course, I already own them.
Oh, yes, you own them.
They just
Yes.
manifested into physical reality, so there you go.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely. Okay, well, let's wrap this up then. I'm sorry, what?
Guys, thank you. And I'm just going to let her go and say whatever she says, and we're going to go. So if you guys want to be there Friday, join me, and I love you.
Loves.
Loves.
Okay. All right. Closing ceremony. Closing ceremony. Some of this is going to be directly for you, Wendy.
Aw, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Ai ko te ish urutish anto. Meshi ko hush oto oshit iara antao. Soko totoshi iatao totosho ia. Au ana ia. Au te sho o ara ayo koton diosea. Au shie. Anya hai sa uisha. Aure en toso o. Toyo on no o oe hayo oka an ne au isho uha. Uhua anau. E ia anau. Ure ia anau kayashu. Auntio o are enya oshu wanea. Kaunenayas ushea. Aunese ishese. Ishau hete yene yohut ish. Aute auntoa. Nehia au kenteaso shue. Ose aunte ea auru. Aunto u. Aunta ayatau kotesha. Ndayo koto o auru. Aunte aushi kenya hau ishauro o. Mishao so ueshinya hoke shara no neshisi huto ishisi. Mototo shikoa a ela anusu ueli. Aulu nusu kututu shisiti ielu hukututu husuki. Uyusuku hulihi muyuhu eshiala anoso. Mawase. Mayao aure ananaya so tosho sonaya tete yasa sokoyeshinia yata yasata toshukua atar toshukonoti shuata aute asa aute ukushe nayo hawehia hawehia
Ashuatu akuntiana sotayaka.
Ushao keshu do ondo e shawane. Ayo hotao hoki. Ne shutoa hawene teo shutoaya. Auno totushi kihiati shuhusu totutu shuhunaya haukotesha. Nesea tosha anaya sokotaya. I love you, Wendy.
I love you, Bree. Yeah, Tushia. My temperature just rose about 5 degrees.
Oh, mine too. I think my entire face is red. I don't know if the camera is reflecting this properly, but it is. Plus my hat fell off, and that was
It was perfect.
not what I was expecting. Oh my gosh.
Guys, here I should be doing some angelic light languages, but here you go. So I love you guys. Misalikisu satelia no tela kisa. No lea sonaya kila sotaya na la shani. Sotea shamakila kosia. That's it for me, guys.
Okay. All right, everybody. We love you. And we do these every Wednesday at 3:33 p.m. Eastern Time. Check out Wendy's website, languagesoflights.com, and follow her. You can check out her Facebook page. Obviously, you're looking at YouTube, other social media platforms like of Languages of Lights, and you can follow the blog and subscribe to Wendy's email newsletter on her homepage of her website. Yes.
I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Love you. Bye.